I think it's safe to say everybody has read The Secret at one time in their life or the other, if you're into spirituality, if you're into manifestation. And I am revisiting this to explain and to dive deeper into my own frequency, right? Because right now there is so much going on with the frequency stuff. Like, I've been working on this for a while, and I'm going to tell you something in a way that will shift the way that you manifest, the way that you've been working with your frequency, the way that it is for me, right? Because when we learn The Secret, the first thing that everybody talks about is this law of attraction, law of vibration, all of that stuff. But then how come we're still not manifesting? Some of you are doing the work, you're doing the healing, you're doing the thinking stuff, you're doing the thought process, but it's still not clicking, okay? Because there is certain tweaking, there's fine tuning that needs to be done. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to find your manifestations not coming in. What I'm going to do is I've kept a couple of pages that I'm going to go through, and I'm going to read a couple of the words that are in the book, and then I'm going to dissect it with an understanding, with the transmission, so that you can actually apply it to your life and actually start to manifest much more quicker, much more better. Okay, so the first one is, and I did an entirely separate video on this, of we live in a universe in which there are laws. Just as there is a law of gravity. If you fall off a building, it does not matter. It does not matter if you're a good person or a bad person, you're going to hit the ground. The law of attraction is a law of nature. It is impartial and impersonal as the law of gravity is. It is precise and it is exact. Why is this so freaking important for you to know? Because for a very long time, I sat there and I was like, you have to be a good person. There's law of karma. There's all of this stuff. And yes, the law of karma exists, but not in the terms of what you manifest. That's why bad people can make a lot of money. Good people can also make a lot of money, because that's irrelevant. It's impersonal. The laws are impersonal laws of the universe. So anyone can tap in at any given moment. So if you've been sitting there thinking, I need to think good thoughts and I need to do that, and the reason why I'm making this video is because I manifested my soulmate, not from thinking good thoughts, not from thinking anything to do with soulmate. It was not like a dominant thing that I had to practice over time. It was one day, one decision, one choice, and it was a quantum jump. Now that quantum jump that happened in literally the space of 2 days, and I manifested him literally about 6 years ago, was simply because I had an emotional charged reaction inside of my body. When you have a thought aligning with the emotion that you are feeling, and you set a command to the universe, right? Command energy is not begging energy. It's not asking energy. It's not wanting energy. It's not desiring energy. It's a command of, I am only available for my soulmate. I set that confirmation. And when I said those words, it was in my mind. I literally just said it and I was just out loud with it. I was done with my own bullshit. I reached that point of fed upness, and it was a case of, I am done with settling for less than I deserve. I am only available for my soulmate. That is it. There was no when is he coming in, how is he coming in, where's he going to show up, none of that bullshit. It was simply a choice, a decision. Okay, so if you're sitting there and you're reading all these books and you're trying and trying and trying, I need you to stop trying, number one, because like attracts like. If you keep trying, that's the signal you're sending out to the universe as well on a dominant frequency, okay, of I keep trying. I need you to become fed up of trying, and I need you to just set the command, but you have to come from a space of emotion. This is the hardest part for some of you, because you're like, but how do I feel the emotions? Okay, well, that's the work. That is the actual true work to manifest the thing until it comes into your life, right? Go back and see all of the stuff that you've manifested up until this point. How has it actually come through for you? Because the way which we manifest is very different depending on our personality, our soul blueprints, our divine timing. Like law of divine timing is also a law, and so the acceptance of that needs to come from within you as well, because the moment that you can accept that is also when you close that gap of you wanting something that is not yet in your current reality. Because I didn't want my soulmate. Like when I tell you I did not want him, I commanded him. In the sense, what I meant by that was, at the time when I said I am only available for my soulmate, I'm not entertaining anything less than, there was no desire left inside of me to even attempt dating unless my intuition was like, get on. And that's what happened. It was literally like a get on Tinder. My mind could have easily gone, really, Tinder? Like, I'm not going to meet my soulmate there. No. But no, we don't listen to the mind. And that's the whole point. You have to be mindfully rich. This is literally what my membership is all about. Mindfully rich is literally rich in love, rich in your mind, in the sense that you are the master of your own mind. Because until you master your mind, it's going to be very difficult for you to listen to those intuitive nudges that are actually guiding you, 444 on my timer, that are actually guiding you to what you are actually wanting. It's almost like you have to be detached but commanding that energy as well, with a knowingness that you're deserving of this thing that you're asking or you're calling in. Go to part 2. So once you have set the command and you have signaled out with your heart and soul, because if you set a command in your mind but there's no emotional connection, right? So for example, when I manifested my soulmate, if I said I am only available for my soulmate, and then in my head I'm thinking about other people and just being like, oh, but in the meantime I'm going to date, blah blah blah, my actions are not in alignment with what I've just commanded. Do you see that? There's like a misalignment there. That's the piece that you have to be so solid in, that your frequency emits that signal to the universe, because the universe doesn't understand words and things like that. It understands thoughts. Thoughts carry frequencies. So your thought and then the emotions that you're feeling with that thought is correspondent, has to be in alignment for you to manifest the thing in. So when I said that sentence, I am only available for my soulmate, I meant it. So if you are, and until you mean it, it's not going to manifest for you. I've said that so many times. And there was this time when I manifested a car, brand new, but again, I had to detach from it. So until I was like, I need a car. The moment I let go and I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not chasing. Like, if the universe wants to give me a car, it can give me a fucking car, but I'm done chasing it. Like, I just command a car. I want a car. And it was the shift of, I don't want a car. I don't need a car anymore. But it's because I had gathered so much emotional anger towards the fact that I didn't get the car. It's the emotions and that thought in alignment that pulled that car towards me, right? And it was like a new car. It was so much better than what I'd imagined it to be. So the core piece being your frequency consists of the thoughts being in alignment with your emotions and your actions and your behaviors. So when you manifest, say for example, when I manifested the soulmate, I then had to take action on that. So when somebody asked me on a date and I knew it wasn't soulmate energy, it was like, nah, not even entertaining it. It was that certain. And I didn't even feel 1% of, oh, maybe I should go on the date. No, it was just a no. That's it. So you need to work on raising your standards to what you are asking for and embody that. Behave that way. That's when you call it in. If this is money in your business, again, if you have a constant frequency saying, I can't make money online, that's the version of you that's going to show up every day that cannot make money. So you need to be the one to switch that money story in your head and again, neutralize it of, I make money easily and there's no emotion attached. If you feel emotions like anxiety, stress, that's the work. Those are the pieces that tune up your frequency to the shift, to the identity that you want to step into, okay? So your thoughts determine your frequency and your feelings will tell you right now what your frequency is on. Now, this is a big, important piece of manifestation. Why? Because a lot of us can struggle with, oh, but what frequency am I on right now then? Like if I'm thinking, what is my dominant thought? Don't look at the thoughts, look at the feelings. If you're trying to manifest something and you're feeling stressed, you know there is something in your mind that is feeding the energy and the frequency of stress, which means in your reality, that's gonna be the result of that. You're gonna see more stress in your life, okay? So then you start working on the stress, the feeling of stress. How can we decrease that? What's the opposite feeling of stress? This is what I do. I go into the feeling and I go, what's the opposite spectrum of this? Because that's the reality that I want to go into, the opposite of. So stress about the car, okay, I let go, I surrender. I'm going to go into peace, okay? Stress, the opposite of stress to me is calm. So I'm going to go into a calm space every single fucking day and then I align it with the thoughts. Oh, I'm calm. My car's coming. I've got this. And then I'll breathe to get my emotions into that space of calm. And then I let go and I detach and I surrender once that calmness has become a dominant frequency where I'm no longer thinking and obsessing over the car. If it's something in my business, I want clients, I want more money. Again, what are my emotions telling me right now about the thing that I'm craving? Is there anger? Is there loneliness? Is there sadness? Choose that emotion. Is there chase? Is there desperation? What's the opposite of desperation? And then you go into the mind and you align with that new energy that you are working on your feelings first, which then you can switch up with your mind. So it's mind, create the frequency, but sometimes if we're in our subconscious, we don't know what's in our subconscious other than feelings. So when we feel stress, anxiety, trauma, you want to be feeling into those, asking what the opposite emotion of that feeling is, and start to bring that energy into your heart space, into your body. And at the same time, whatever that thing is that's causing those emotions, you bring that into your headspace at the same time and go, no, I feel this way about this now. That is the work. And if you are doing this work, I tell you, I'm guaranteeing you will start being a master manifester. I'm a master manifester, but I still come back to this book like I'm going to reread it with my soulmate now. 6 years later. I haven't read it for 6 years now, and it fascinates me how many new different pieces of angles that you can get up and just increase your manifestation game on like another level. So check it out, comment if this works for you and if this made sense, and I'll catch you in the next video. Mwah.